Hello YouTube, Nice Slicer here. Sorry for the postponed videos and all, but there's been a lot of crap going on in my life lately. As well, sorry about the light level a little bit as well. It's the best spot in my house right now. Seeing as we are finally in fall, it starts to get dark and all, and we don't really have very good lights in the apartment. So this is the best place I got, which sadly has to be the bathroom. Uh, Basically, what we had as far as the voting for the tens, we had a tie between number 2 and number 3. Seeing as number 2 got the most votes first overall out of the two, I'm going to do 10 number 2 first, which included my more competitive deck that I had built for people that come into my locals to cause trouble, which is, you'll see here in a second, I should just say. And then the other one is a further updated Mist Valley deck that I've put together. So for the first deck, and then the second deck will be a different video just to cover that real quick. It is my Machina Gadget Geartown deck. Basically, I like the Machina. I like Ancient Gears a lot, as you guys have probably seen one of my videos possibly about Geartown. Well, not Geartown's Ancient Gears. And then there's the gadget part, which just adds a little bit of consistency to it. But it's not the typical build. I took some of my own little liberties to make it work for me. And every time I've entered it into our local tournament, I've gotten first place with it. So it does pretty well. So starting off, we have 3 Ancient Gear Geartown Dragons. I know you guys probably can't see them too well, but just take my word for it that they're 3 Ancient Gear Geartown Dragons, and the same with any other card. I wish the lighting in my place was better, but can't handle that much as far as that. Basically, the Ancient Gear Geartown Dragons, big massive beat stick with the Ancient Gear ability, which is really nice, and then the fact that it's basically a monster born for Fortress. And I'm sure all you guys remember Fortress real well. Then I run 2 Jinzos. My personal favorite as far as rarity goes for Jinzo is the gold rare, and it took me a little while to get both gold rares, but I got 2 gold rares now. We've got 3 Machina Gear Frame. This is where it gets a little bit more unique. This is one that Pojo actually had it as a card of the day a long time ago, and they gave it a rating of 2 out of 5, but they said if it was stronger or it wasn't a tribute monster, they would have given it like a 4 out of 5, which is Ancient Gear Engineer. This guy has allowed me to push the game like none other. So, if you guys don't believe me, honestly, you'll eventually probably realize it if you ever try it out. He's really, really good. For those of you that have actually gone up against it, you know he works really well. We've got my 2 green gadgets. Then, give it a little bit of sinking potential, I put in 2 Birdmen, which I know is not that unique, but back when I first did it, there was a lot of debate whether you should do it. We've got 2 red gadgets and 2 yellow gadgets. So it's a Mach 6 build. So that was 21 monsters for you. And those of you that actually know anything about the Machina stuff in general, it's a relatively common consensus that you should run most of the time probably 42 to just reduce your chances of drawing a gadget, well, multiple gadgets in your first hand. Sadly, it doesn't work out so well in my opinion, but I can play around that easily. Then this one I discovered for other decks, but then discovered for this one when I was just looking around for fill 2 more spots in the deck, and it turned out one of the last people to top with Machina stuff, not the Karkuri Machina plant, but just Machina, ran this as well in his deck, which is Creature Swap, which has given me some pretty nice plays against people. Then we've got Enemy Controller. I know how some people feel about Enemy Controller and stuff other than Monarchs, but Enemy Controller saved my ass so many times against Six Samurais. Basically, whenever they would try to go for Xian, I'd stop them right there by taking something from them. Then there's the 3 Geartowns. Any of you that actually have gone up against Geartown and knows it can be a pain in the ass. We've got Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex. I know how people hate the discard thing about Lightning Vortex, but I like it, and I can make it an advantage in this deck. Then we've got 1 Limiter Removal, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, which if it wasn't for the Engineers, I would probably run more than 1, but the Engineers allow me to just wipe out back row so easily that I don't really need that much back row destruction in any other way other than the MST or Heavy Storm, which I can use in other ways than destroying my opponent's stuff. And then the card that makes Engineer really work, my 2 Solidarities I run. So there's my 14 spells, and those of you that know, I have that formula and all. These used to be compulsives, but as time went on, I was having more and more issues with the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon thing, so I looked into how to remedy it the best you possibly could, and this is one of the most highly suggested ways to do it, which is Bottomless. Basically, just Bottomless that Cyber Dragon as soon as it pops out, which I have 2 Bottomlesses there. 1 Call of the Haunted. One of the cards that people at my locals fear the most as far as going up against this deck, my 2 Magical Hats. Because any of you that know that Magical Hats Geartown combo, it's a lot of bullshit. So, one of my other little techs in here, which I know a lot of people have said is a piece of crap, but this card has saved my ass, which is Psychic Shockwave. Basically, the only thing I can search out is my Jinzos, but I only run 1, and if they want to waste an MST on it, that's fine by me. Then we've got Trap Stun, and that's all my traps. Then as for synchros, which I don't get some of these out that often, but especially this first one, I've only gotten them out I think once, and I think there's only like 1 combo I can do to get him out. Yeah, it's my Locomotion R Gen X. I have to use Gen X Ally Birdman with Jinzo to get him out, and most of the time Jinzo's just better than Locomotion, but in case I have him there. Then we've got Gen X Ally Axel in here. Just to cover this also real quick, I'm only running machines in my extra deck, so I don't ever conflict with the Solidarity part. But this guy is really not too bad when you're using him with the gadgets. Gets you that extra search, plus a big beat stick for the turn. Then my most common synchro I get out, which these little guys got colored on a little bit, because I wanted to make them look a little cooler, are my Gen X Ally Triforces. And I know you guys can't really see it too well in the camera, but this guy right here, he's green instead of silver. This one's blue instead of silver, and then this one is red instead of silver. And then I run, as far as exceeds, I run 3 Wind-Up Zenmeisters. Zenmeister's effect's not that useful in this deck, but he gives me an extra beat stick that can pop out of nowhere. About the only realistic use for me, unless I steal an opponent's monster or something to utilize their effect, such as a flip effect or something. Other than that, realistically, the only advantage I've got with him in the deck is against limiter removal. Basically, I'll use it, then I can use his effect to flip something face down, and then it won't blow up that turn. So that's the Machina Geartown gadgets, whatever you want to call them. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get them put away. Okay. So comment, rate, whatever. Just in general, try to be relatively positive and don't be an asshole about half this stuff. Especially seeing as I've had some comments I didn't quite like that I got on the first 10 video, considering they were certain comments that weren't even Yu-Gi-Oh related. It was just some idiot, I'm assuming, just deciding to try to troll on me. But just try to keep it positive, keep it about Yu-Gi-Oh. Other than that, this is Osmay 9 Slicer signing